Pokemon Legends ZA is the most recent entry to the Pokemon series. It's an open-world game with a huge city to explore filled with Pokemon to catch and characters to befriend. This game has had a lot of discussion over its quality. Some online will say that it's slop due to the lackluster animations and low-quality textures. I, however, am a slop enjoyer. Oh boy, do I love me some slop! Maybe it's just because I'm a big fan of Pokemon, and I do have a lot of personal issues with some aspects of the game, but my personal experience has been, for the most part, pleasant and fun. This game does a lot wrong, but it also does a lot right in my opinion. The atmosphere and wildlife in the game are carefully selected and filled with life. Everything from the Pidgeys and fletchlings that fly away when you get too close to them, to the Trubbish that get excited when you approach them. The chosen Pokemon feel like they belong here. What I'm saying is, the Pokemon selected to be included in this game were chosen for a reason. Some Pokemon were included for obvious reasons, others were chosen because they're Kalosian Pokemon, and this is a game based in Lumio City. And because this is Lumio City, Mega Evolutions are back, which is why some Pokemon were included. Which brings us to today's topic Pokemon, Slowpoke.
Slowpoke, the dopey Pokemon. It lazes vacantly near water. If something bites its tail, it won't even notice for a whole day.
So, what does this cute little guy do? Not much, at least not until now. Shiny Pokemon. If you've had your fair share of time online, you'll know a large percentage of the community go crazy for differently colored pixels on a screen. And if you're truly deranged, you spend years searching for your dream shiny.
Why would you be shiny?
Every Pokemon has a shiny variant, meaning that your favorite Pokemon has an alternative color palette. However, not all shinies are created equal. Let us pay our respects to those whose sparkles just don't shine. Oh, Slowpoke! So, let's circle back. Why is Slowpoke important exactly? Allow me to show you. Modern Pokemon games are baby mode for shiny hunting. It's easy, watch, this next one will be shiny. Okay, that one wasn't shiny, but this next one. Okay, this very next one. I know it's here somewhere! I know it's here!
Several days later.
There it is. So, that right there, do you see that? That is a purple Slowpoke. I don't know if you can tell, but that's not Slowpoke shiny. Well, sort of. This is shiny Slowpoke. This is also shiny Slowpoke. This is once again shiny Slowpoke.
He's Squidward, you're Squidward, I'm Squidward! Are there any other Squidwards I should know about?
Slowpoke's shiny variant between the generations has always been interesting to say the least. In Generation 2, where shinies were first introduced, Slowpoke shiny was this nice deep purple, which really contrasted well with its original color palette. In Generation 3, however, well, it became this light pink color, which admittedly, it's not that bad. The Generation 3 sprites were vibrant enough so that there was still a noticeable difference. Albeit boring, at least there was a difference between normal and shiny Slowpoke. Fast forward to Generation 9 and... Look, we're gonna play a game here. Of these two, which one is shiny? Neither. It was a secret third option off in the distance, but come on, seriously?
This shiny sucks butt!
But Legends ZA has fixed Slowpoke shiny to be this nice, vibrant purple, which I adore. This is huge. Game Freak has very rarely changed shinies. The only shiny that has been completely changed and not slightly tweaked was Game Freak's favorite child, Charizard. Charizard shiny wasn't always the black and red that we know today. He actually used to look like... He went from looking like Barney the dinosaur to evil. What does this mean for the greater shiny community? Well, I think this was Game Freak dipping their toes into reworking shinies. But here's the question, why did they only change Slowpoke shiny? There are other shinies that barely change that also appear in Legends ZA, such as Garchomp, Glaceon, Gengar, Frostlass. I really wanted to alliterate this segment. I think they chose Slowpoke because it was low risk, and no shade if Slowpoke is your favorite Pokemon, but he doesn't have the same popularity as the previously named Pokemon. Somehow, someway, someone on Twitter will freak out over a better shiny for Garchomp. Look, I really hope this is a permanent change and isn't for ZA alone. Perhaps this could bring a wave of new shinies for Pokemon with barely changing shinies, but this may come at a cost. There is a difference between bad shinies and barely changing shinies. What do I mean by this? Well, there's some shinies that just don't complement the Pokemon's design all too well. Espeon, Nidoqueen, Bruxish. Gramble, Grafai, Okidogi especially, the list goes on. But that's all subjective. I think somewhere out there, someone really likes these shinies and would be sad to see them be changed. I am not one of those people. I think shinies should be unique and different, even at the cost of eye-melting color palettes. I'd prefer an ugly shiny over a boring shiny, which is what Slowpoke was. So, this little hippopotamus has potentially altered shiny hunting for the better. Let's hope more of our favorite creatures are dipped in the color-changing bucket. I think this is the first step of several to these redemptions. I mean, it's obvious Game Freak has attempted to change some lackluster shinies. Gengar and Garchomp's Mega Evolutions are a clear example of that, completely altering their color schemes in shiny form. So in conclusion, Slowpoke has opened up the possibility of shiny reworks for our favorite Pokemon. I really hope we see more reworks in the near future. I want barely changing shinies to be a thing of the past. So let us pray, Slowpoke, because one day he may be your king, bro. You know, at least I've never had to worry about that with my favorite Pokemon, which is Lotad. Wait, Lotad, no!